Hi guys, welcome to Think IIT Solutions. So today we are going to discuss some programs in Python. So these are the programs that we are going to do, that is finding even odd numbers, sum of n numbers, factorial of a number, reverse of a string, and how to detect whether a string is a palindrome or not. So let me open the Python idle. Okay, so as this particular mode is like a command prompt, we'll be writing a proper code. So therefore, we'll open a new file and then we'll try to execute that file after we have written the program. So first we'll be seeing how to find out whether the number is an even or an odd. So for that, I'll take a variable called num and I'll store some value 100 in it. So basically, this value will be used in our loop and we'll be detecting all the even numbers till 100. So I'm writing the for loop now. For I in range of, I'll be taking 1 comma, I'll be taking this number and I'll be adding plus 1. Why? Because the range function will be taking the numbers from that particular starting value to n minus 1. Therefore, if I want till 100, I'll have to go till num plus 1. So num is a variable which is declared above. Then I have to give a colon. Once I press enter, I'll have to just write a if condition now. That is, if I is my number, that is I modulus of 2 is 0 or not. So to detect an even number, we have to check whether the remainder is 0 or not. So if a remainder when you divide by 2 is 0, then it's an even number. So I'm just saying print. In the print I'll write even number comma I. So this will be my code, and so whenever the condition is true, that is this condition I modulus 2, whenever it is 0, then it will print that it is an even number. It means that whenever the remainder is 0, we are entering into this particular if condition. So I'll save this particular code. I'll press Ctrl S and I'll just save on the desktop by saying even, and now I'll run this code. So in order to run the code, go to run and then run module. So you can see that the code will execute and it will print all the even numbers that from 2 to 100, because 100 is the maximum number that we have given. So now let's say if we want to just see the odd numbers, let's say, so in the place of 1, in the place of 0 here, we will see that the remainder is 1 and we will edit here as odd number. So just save the code using Ctrl S and then run module. So you can see that now all the odd numbers are being printed from 0 to 100, whatever that number we have given. So this was the first program. So now we'll go to the second program, that is finding sum of n numbers. That is, when we give the value n, we will find the sum up to that particular number. So let's say I give the num as 10 here, and I'll introduce another variable called sum that is equal to 0. So initially the sum is 0, and as we go through, we'll just add each value to that sum. So again, I'll be taking for I in the range of 1 to num plus 1, and my variable sum will be equal to sum plus I. So as you can see here, so initially sum is 0. Whenever the loop will start running, every time it will add this value I to this particular value of sum. So whatever your number is, so this for loop will range from 1 to that particular number, and it will keep on adding every number to sum. So after the whole for loop is completed, if I print here, so it will give me the sum of n numbers. So sum of n numbers colon, I'll be writing that variable name, and because the variable name here is sum, so it will print the value here. So just press Ctrl S and then run. So when you press run, you can see that it is displaying sum of n numbers is 55, because the value of num we have given as 10. So if you change this, if you give the value of num as 100, then it will print the value up to, it will add and it will print the value up to that. So you save it and you run it. So you can see that it is giving sum of n numbers is 5050. So So this will be the second program, that is finding the sum up to n numbers. Now the third program, that is finding the factorial. So factorial is just like if you have a number 10, then you have to, instead of adding, you have to now multiply, that is 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 up to 1. So instead of taking a variable called sum, I'll take a variable called fact and I'll store 1 in it. I'll leave the for loop as same and I'll modify this statement. So I'll just say fact is equal to fact into I. So as we know, the factorial is, let's say the number is 10, the factorial is 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 up till 1. So I'm just using the variable fact and I'm doing the multiplication here. So once I do the multiplication, the output that I'll be getting is same as the factorial. So I'll just write factorial and here I'll have to change the name to fact. So you can see that I am writing the print statement after the for loop. So if I write print statement here, if I give a tab space here and I write the print statement, then this print statement will execute for every loop iteration because it is written inside the for loop. So I don't want that particular variable to print after every loop iteration. Therefore, I am writing it outside. So now only this particular statement is under the for loop and this particular print statement is outside that of the for loop. So I'll just save it and I'll run the module. So you can see that it is printing the factorial of a number as 3628800. So if you want to find out for a lesser number, that is if you want to find out for a factorial of 5, then just change the num variable and now you just run the module again. So you can see that the factorial is 120. So this was the third program. Now let us go to the fourth program, that is finding the reverse of a string. So for this particular program, I'll erase all this and I'll take a variable called as string in which I will store a string. So I'll be storing think IoT in this, and in order to find out the reverse of a particular string, I need what is the length of that string. So I'll be using a variable called length and there is a standard function in Python which is len. So it will give me the length of the string. So in this particular function, I am passing this particular variable string. So whenever I execute it, whatever the number of characters are there in this particular string will be stored in the variable called as length. Now I'll be just writing a for loop, but before that I'll take a variable called out, that is to store my output string, and I'll take the string as a null string, that is an empty string. Now I'll be writing a for loop. So for I in the range, and I'll be starting the for loop from 0 and I'll be taking the value up to length. So the length is nothing but a variable which contains the length of the string, the same length I am using here. Now in order to find the reverse of the string, what I have to do is, so this is the string 0, string 1, string 2, string 3, string 4, that is the indexing that we have seen. So if I want to reverse the string, what I'll be doing is I'll first access this particular element, that is the last element, and then I will access all these elements starting from the right. So this particular element, that is the character T, will be stored in the maximum position, that is the length of the string is the maximum, so it will be stored in that particular index. So therefore what I will do is I will take out, which is my output string, is equal to out plus, so I will be adding that string. So string is my variable, but I will be indexing from the back side, that is the maximum position, length minus 1. Then I will take length is equal to length minus 1 to decrease it in the next loop iteration, and then I'll just print the string as out. Out is my string. So just to explain the logic again, what we have done here is we have just taken a string here and we have found out the length of the string using the function len. So length now stores the length of this particular string. So if the string has, let us say, 8 characters, it means that the length variable is 8 here. So whenever I write a loop, I am writing from 0 to that particular length, and I am taking a variable called out which is empty initially, and I am adding that out to this particular string, but I'm accessing the string from the right side because I'm using length minus 1. So length minus 1 is, let's say length is 8. So I'm accessing string of 7. So string of 7 is this t. Then I'm subtracting it in the next loop iteration. So it becomes string of 6. So it becomes O. Then it becomes I. So it comes from the right side. So I'll just save this using Ctrl S and I'll run the module. So you can see that it has found the reverse of that particular string. So let us change the string here. So instead of Think IoT, let me just say Facebook and I'll save it. And once I run the module, you can see that it will find the reverse of that string. So this was our fourth program. Now I want to find whether the string is palindrome or not. So what I'll do is, for the same program, I'll just write an if condition. So if, I'll just say string is double equal to out, because my string has the initial string and my out has the string which is a reverse, that is a reverse string. So I'll just say print and I'll write string is palindrome, that is if the comparison is correct then the string is palindrome, and then else I'll just say print in single quotations string is not palindrome. So palindrome string is that string which is read same from both the sides, that is if you read from left to right and if you read from right to left, the string will be same. So I'll just save it and let me run this module. So it is saying for the Facebook string is not palindrome. Now I'll just change the string. I'll take a palindrome string, that is moon is palindrome. So I'll save it and then I'll run it. So you can see that it is printing the reverse and it is saying the string is palindrome. So these were the 5 programs for this particular tutorial. Thank you.